Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tea Talk with Goodness Usman, your number one real estate talk show in Africa. And thanks to each of every one of you who keep showing up to watch the show every Sunday, 4 p.m. when we upload. Honestly, yes, you guys are the real MVP. So let's get right away into today's topic. Now, before we go into the topic of the day, we all know that we have a ritual on this show. And hey, if this is your very first time of coming across this show and participating, let me briefly take you through our ritual. What we do is we advise you to get comfortable wherever you're watching us from and get what works for you: a glass of water, a glass of wine, a cup of tea, cup of coffee, whatever it is you choose. It might even be a glass of chill zobo. Shagari. Anyways, for me, it is always a green tea because remember, the show is called Tea Talk with Goodness Usman. Here we have conversations about everything that has to do with real estate, and here is a very good platform for you to learn, unlearn, and work and get educated about the Nigerian real estate market. So let's get right into the ritual, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am here with my green tea. So shall we? Whew. Okay. I'm sure that one day, yes, one day, I'm going to disappoint those of you who are saying, I'm sure she's going to do it 3 times. Yeah, give us to that day, right? Okay. I'm going to surprise you guys. Anyways, now that you have your coffee, green tea, chill zobo, or taikada, or glass of wine, whichever one suits you, can we get right into the topic of the day? Please ensure that you're relaxed. Take away all forms of distraction. Don't allow anything to distract you. Not even yours. Okay, sorry. I did not see that. I'm just saying, you should call your spouse to watch with you, and then you guys can relax together. So, shall we? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. So, in the course of the year, I know we're still in January, right? And people have asked me this question over and over. I see quite a lot of people asking this question. I say, you know what? Let's have the conversation about it here. And so this is what we're going to do on today's show. This particular episode is going to be very much interactive. I'm going to be throwing guys a question. So it's going to be like, you're waiting for me to give you an answer. I'm going to throw the question back to you. Then you. Now, you that you're investing in the Nigerian real estate market, you that you are intending to invest in the Nigerian real estate market, or you've been following the Nigerian real estate market is what I mean by you. So let's talk about it. So the very first one is, goodness, is this a right time to buy into an off-plan project? Or do you advise that we buy into an off-plan project? I've gotten this question countless times. Like since January to now, it's been more frequent a question. So I want to answer this particular question. And hey, this is from my own perspective, and this is a professional advice. Now, if you remember, even in the last episode, I mentioned it that properties are going to be more expensive this year. Yes, that no one should be looking out to the extremely cheap properties, the extremely cheap properties in terms of houses, especially. I wasn't even talking about land so much. Even lands will be more expensive because title lands are becoming very scarce now. So let's stick to the housing projects that this set of people have asked. Yes, I think it's still wise, it's still safe, it's still okay, it's the best time to buy into an off-plan project. But however, I'm going to give you guys bullet points to guide you. First of all, I understand why anyone will be skeptical. They'll be afraid of buying a property right now because, the way the prices are. And the major fear is the fear of delivery. Are these guys going to deliver? Do you understand? So, I get it. I get why this question is important and at the lips of everyone. And that's why I'm addressing it. It is still a good time to buy into property. In fact, I'm of the opinion that, especially those of us in Nigeria, or even if you're in Nigeria in diaspora, and you keep money in Naira, I don't know how that works, but I know some people convert their money to Naira at some point because they want to buy a property. So if you want to buy a property and you have converted your money to Naira, you can't even afford to keep it for too long, right? Now let's come down on to people, Nigerians, we live in Nigeria. The money you're putting in the bank, except if you're putting in some shares, you're buying shares, you're buying bonds, and etc., etc., you shouldn't be keeping any bulk money, anything that is beyond money that can be used for emergency. You shouldn't have it in your account because of the obvious reason. It is depreciating in value. Bank charges is also there, but most importantly, it is depreciating in value. So let's have this conversation. ₦1 million value 6 months ago, right? It's not the same thing now. In fact, 3 months ago, it's not the same thing right now, right? For those of you who are based abroad, you're earning in dollars and pounds. You guys, it's more favorable for you guys. I know that this conversation is also long. There's the other part of it where people say, oh, when they convert it to Naira, they have lose their da 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 da. That's another part of the conversation. But whatever way you look at it, what money you're bringing into the country right now. I mean, $1 is how much right now? Over almost 1,400 pounds is about 1.7 and all of that. So yeah, when you're converting, you're making like ×3 of what it used to be, right? Or maybe 2, all right, average, right? Okay, so for you, it works for you. But for you putting it in Naira, you can't afford to keep the money. So yes, it is good to put it into an off-plan project. And why are we even discussing off-plan project? We all know that not everybody has the capability to buy a finished product, right? A finished property. And that's why you see a lot, even in my estate where I live, there's quite a lot of finished houses that have not been sold in the last 6 months. Because each of them is nothing less than 300 million naira, 250 million naira. How many Nigerians can afford to buy such property? So if you're breaking it down to all these off-plan projects, they're giving you the opportunity to own a terrace for, say, 60 million naira in Aja, 2-bedroom terrace with a BQ, 60 million naira, right? When if you want to buy the finished one, it might be more than the 60 million naira. It might not be up to 60 million naira. That is subject to debate. But the question is, even if it's a 50 million naira, cash down, how many people can afford to put 15 million cash down without taking a loan, whether in loan in Nigeria or loan abroad? I know some people can, many cannot. That's the thing, the fraction. So that's why I always advise that rather than waiting to have your bulk money ready, make it easy for yourself. Embark on an offline project and then you're paying as you make, commitment every month. And before you open your eyes and close it, you're done with it and you can move to the next project. So yes, but there's other parts to it. The extension is you need to be careful who you're buying the off-plan project from. I've said it before and I will say it again and we reiterate. In fact, let me sit down. That came up. Serious. Yes. Me call you go do many. Sorry. But this is a serious moral. Please, I want to beg you, torí Ọlọ́run, domi Allah. Bọ́n náà ṣe ń sọ jọ ní Igbo. Speak the joy in your Igbo, jàre. Please, Dalu. Is it Dalu? My Igbo people, sorry, Hey, when you're buying into an off-plan project, in this year 2024, you have to be very, very careful. You have to be very, very careful. I am pleading with you that more than ever, this year is the time you need to be very, very sensitive when it comes to who you're buying an off-plan project for. So I will say this, and it's just the truth. Somebody that has not gone into an off-plan project before, and you want to buy an off-plan project from that company, ṣọ́ra ṣe o. Before you hear, it's gone. All the law. Like the way we normally say in this part of the country. If you are not in Lagos, you will not understand it. Do not put your money in with a company without track record, without credibility. Because you see, even the ones with the track record, the ones with the credibility, they're like, they are shaking. But they're holding it together because of the integrity they have. A lot of them are already finding it difficult to even finish up some projects. But because of the kind of level of trust and integrity they have, they are going to deliver to you. No doubt about that. So now imagine you're buying from someone that was just started. Don't try it, please. Do not. So yes, it is safe. It's still okay to put your money into an off-plan project. But when you're choosing, buy from the ones that have credibility. People like Landmark. Hey! Efficacy, Gege. Gracias Global. Gracias Global even stopped building houses since 2022. 2022, they stopped. I think they just saw it ahead or something. They stopped building houses. Do you guys even know? That reminds me that Landmark, who is supposed to bring Yaba, all of you have been calling me, goodness, how much is it? I'm interested. We have been waiting for the prices before the end of 2023. They didn't bring out the price because the way the dollar was going. Then in January, we're excited. They came and said, oh, so now we can bring it out. Bam! What did they say it like this? Dollar just look at them and say, you want to kill me? You want to say Yaba? Whoa, Yaba ain't saying. Dollar just do like, why? And I dance like this. You know, dance like this. You know, dance like this. He's not still dancing like this. That man, I say, lady, I'm waiting to last you. It's not gonna work here. We have what? We have postponed the official launching of our favorite projects. Chegba, you have heard it. Okay, you have not heard it. See the notification for yourself. Have you read it? You have read it. Sorry, I was gonna try to speak like Jennifer. Yes, Jennifer. So what I'm saying is, they're not even sure how to set the price. Because 1 minute, bag of cement is XYZ. By the way, they've started work on the site too. Let me just give you a sneak peek into it. They've started piling as I'm talking to you. So, based on what you're going on site, they don't even know what to peg it at. So that is a company that has integrity, because once they set the price out, they cannot come back and meet you. Now, the avocado in Abidjan, the price has, maybe at the time you are watching this video, the price have increased. Abi, it's just 2 days to go. Okay, so it will be 2 days to go. So if you want to own 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom in Abidjan GIA, now is the time. Time wave on, no boring. This is the definition. You know that person that saying that time does not wait for anybody. That person, this was what the person was talking about you. This time is gonna go, and then you're gonna pay more. Time is boring. So, ladies and gentlemen, hey, 5 million naira extra. Now, this is not anybody's fault, because I mean, we could have this conversation on and on. It's not these developers. I don't know, doing business. Anyways, I've said it too. I am sure that apart from this company that I mentioned, there are other companies out there who are delivering. But me wants to say. So I won't. So please don't let nobody just come and say, oh, are you saying that company D, company Z, company Kogi, company Umaya, company Zamfara, abi company Sambisa Forest, they are not delivering? Well, actually, some companies are actually a Sambisa Forest. Who wants to go to a Sambisa Forest? So don't worry alone. This year 2021, more go Sambisa Forest, even if you want to buy a land. Hey, some developers are Sambisa Forest, Hey, if you don't know what Sambisa Forest is, just type it to Google. You'll be like you are typing Ifa. So please, it's the money that I have, I'm borrowing you. Like Yoruba will say, I am borrowing you the money that I have. In fact, this one is the money that I do not have. The money I will have in the future. So please use the money when you're doing in the future. Okay, I might be laughing about it. It might be sounding very funny, but seriously, this is serious. Don't go put your money with one Sambisa Forest developer. Hey, I know what I'm telling you, and I always say this: the truth is the truth, and the truth will remain the truth. Okay, and this is not me shading any recent, growing company. I mean, really, but when it comes to your investment, and when it comes to building projects, it takes a lot, and I've realized that when it comes to a project, what you write down on paper is completely different when you get into construction fully. So there are so many factors determining why so many developers will not deliver their houses. There are so many factors to it. And if the integrity is not in check, it is what it is, unfortunately. I've seen off-plan projects that are span over 5 years right now. And I've seen off-plan projects that someone started 1 year, and 2 years, you can see serious, tremendous progress on site. And this is why I will always say that I give it to Landmark. I give it to people like Gracias Global. Gracias built apartments in Ibejuleki and delivered it. So it's not even rocket science to deliver project. But as much as people like Landmark, Efficacy, Gracias, and some other wonderful companies out there make it so easy. Like if they make it look like it's a piece of cake. It's not a piece of cake like that. But it just shows that they're not just good at what they do, but they have integrity. When I hear background stories of what they are going through behind the scenes, if I go through it with them, see it, I'll be like, what? A lot of the time, they deliver some of these houses at the loss to the company. But because of their integrity, they are looking at it we lose some, we win some, right? But if they don't have integrity, and probably they don't have the strength, the muscle that they have, hey, you will have to wait. And it's not so much about muscle sometimes, it's about integrity. Because I've seen people with muscles and they didn't deliver. They did not. Because their priorities started changing after a while. So yes, again, it is a good time to buy into off-plan because this is even the time you need to put your money into off-plan projects. Because guess what? These developers are taking the risk for you. You are not taking any risk as an investor. You're taking a risk, but your risk is not as high as this developer. Honestly, I wouldn't understand if all of these guys come and say, I'm not selling house. Like Gracias did not say they're not selling house this year. They've not told us they're going to be selling house. They didn't sell last year, They're just trying to deliver on the ones that they have, They're selling more lands this year. And they are come to tell us that they're not even selling untitled lands anymore. Those Kora City, Kora, blah, blah, in Ekpe. That's it. Nothing like that. Ibejuleki, no more. Because government is out for blood. I said it. That what happened in Ibejuleki is already happening in Ekpe. You guys should be also careful. All this untitled land that you're buying. I know that all of us cannot buy 20 million naira per plot land. But hey, we'd rather go to Ibadan. She gets it. It's not still as volatile as Lagos. So that's by the wayside. Efficacy has a lot of properties right now that they're working on. They're looking at how to deliver as many as possible this year. More this year, actually. Do you understand? Same thing with Landmark. Because they want to deliver. That's why this year about they're saying, hold on, no, let's get it right first before we get ourselves into trouble. And then we start, basically avoid story that much. So definitely we will see more off-plan projects being delivered this year. More new projects will be announced. Yes, the real estate market is not doing bad. It's still doing well. That's the outlook. It is doing well. People will still make money from real estate. People are making money already. Okay. So for those of you who still want to buy a house, who want to buy an apartment, it is okay for you to invest in it. But be careful who you're buying from. I'm not saying if you're watching me now and you don't buy from these other properties, I'm not saying your fab out there, your fab favorite developer out there is bad though. I probably don't know your fab. So, no, criticize fab, So don't come and say, oh, is she saying, because I've seen this, people react funny. So, oh, what's she saying? You're saying that, it's not, you're not going to call your realtor. Goodness said, well, if I know your fab, and you can tell me the name, I can tell you category, you all know me. I will say it. If you are not, I've seen some that used to consider okay that right now most of them want to be baggy. Misplaced priorities in one bay. So, like I said, let me mention as well, people like Standout Property also is another company that truly are trying to, push out products and stick on it. Right. So I forgot to mention that as well. It's a property that will sell. They have different off-land projects in different places right now. And of course, they have not even stopped working. If you have seen our update on Bloom Heaven, look at that project. Bloom Heaven. Look at that project in the space of 2 years. Right. And resident is ongoing as well. So people like that have, their integrity is in check. They don't want to do what will mess them up. And I pray they don't, start messing up in the future. So that's what we can take. The other questions, we're going to be taking it in subsequent episode because this is already too long. So wrapping up, this is the question I'm throwing back to you. What do you guys think about offline projects? Do you agree with me? Do you have a separate opinion about this? Now, do you know any real estate company that you're recommending and saying, oh, like this guy's the deliver? Over the years, they have, like I said, there's a lot of real estate developers. Just that in this my circle, the few I mentioned are probably someone on top of my head that I can't remember, but those are the people on top of my mind, and that's because of the level of work they're doing. So, like I said again, disclaimer: I am not saying your fab is not going well. I'm not saying people should not patronize your fab, or realtors that watch my video. Don't come and saying I'm shading your fab, rárá o. And tó bá dá ẹ lójú, bring your fab outside. Káwọ́ kan tó ti ṣe. It's about record lọ́wọ́ yìí. Because one needs to be very, very sensitive. Lagos State government is not even joking this year. They are not joking this year. Building approval is part of it. Getting building approval is another question, when it comes to integrity check. So yes, what do you guys think about this subject? Do you have a question you want us to treat in subsequent episode? Put it in the comment section. Let's hear from you, and then we're going to be treating it subsequently, God willing. So thank you so much, guys, for doing this with me today. Please, let's make this interactive. When we do neighborhood, know your neighborhood. You were very interactive. Oh yeah, bring the same energy here. It's like I'm going to put the neighborhood to our TikTok. Oh yeah, you kind of interact. Interact. See, when people are interacting, this is what I do. I think we need to speak in this show. All right, thank you so much. It's been a delight to be here with you guys on another episode on Tea Talk with Goodness Usman. I hope I've been able to not waste your time, but add value to you today. Do me a favor, please. Share this with your friend and family and your colleague. And while you're doing so, I say to you, God bless you. Please ensure that you remain safe wherever you are and awesome just the way you are. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Until then, I say to you,